I'm going to call this video Finish because I've finished saying everything I want to. Everything that I wrote down before I started making these videos, and also in between. So this is great. So it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop making videos. Being honest to yourself is the key to it all. If you can be honest to yourself, then everything is open. You're good to go. You can do everything. Problem is that people lie to themselves and other people in everyday life, so when you do this, you become somebody else in the process. It's as if there's one thing we believe, and then there's something else which we do not want to see, that being the truth. The way you have to see it is, or at least the way I imagined it some months ago, is let's say we are in a labyrinth, a circle kind of labyrinth, and in the middle there is a huge shining thing, that being the truth. And although people, all of them see it, they do not want to accept that it's there. And the way I see the waking up is now and then seeing a path or a door to it, and then choosing to go in or not to. It may sound strange, but I would say that's a good explanation. This honesty, wisdom, enlightenment, all the good stuff, all comes by necessity in the end. People you meet every day are actors. Everybody acts for many reasons, because they care so much how other people see them. Also, a reason people drink alcohol is because then they can be themselves, and it's like an excuse. They can then say that they were drunk. People feel oppressed, which is why they do it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be acting. Humans are like programmed robots. No thoughts of their own. It's like from this film Ha 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 from 2010. It's in my top 10 list. I don't like showing scenes, clips of films, because, as I've said, people should watch them themselves, but there's a good part where they talk about honesty, and the problem being that everything we know is not our own. We don't have our own thoughts. So how could we possibly be honest? We get taught things in school by other people. People don't even feel the need to think. Then we expect others to even think outside the box. It's good I mentioned Ha Ha Ha, the film, the first part, because actually wanted to mention the director Hong Sang-soo, if that's how you pronounce it, and Eric Romer, another director, both of which you should know if you follow my list of the films on my blog, Life is About Having Fun. Their films are quite similar, and when I watch some of them, most of them actually, and the people talk and interact with each other, it seems like that's the way it should be. It's like they show how the world should be. It's quite interesting. That's the feeling I get, which is likely the reason I like them so much. And It's also something I should mention is Eric Romer's film My Night at Maud's. He's now dead, but he made it, that would be over 40 years ago from now, where, as I understood, one of the characters is a Freemason, or seeing as it's a woman, and I don't know how it works. I know for sure that her family was supposed to be a Masonic, many generations of Freemasons, what I mean, and there's also a review, a really long one, where somebody mentions that the woman is a Freemason and also says that it's the same as being a free thinker. I want to mention it because, as I understand, most people who watch the film never even understood what the word Freemason means, although many people know about such societies. This reviewer didn't, I believe. Maybe I misunderstood it, but don't see what's there to misunderstand. And this film, My Night at Maud's, is the only film of his which got... That film got the most attention. It was nominated for the Academy Award in the US, so... As I've explained in my videos, almost all films that are nominated for the Oscar are Masonic and are evil and are there to brainwash people. So I don't know about Eric Romer and who he really was, as we don't know anything about directors really. Surely many of them have to be involved, but those are the ones who are more popular. Hardly doubt that most of you have ever heard his name. Probably none of you, except the ones who follow my blog, or the ones who like films in general. Reviewers and such likely will know him. But my point is that it's possible that when they don't have films to choose, they actually choose some films that fit the image, although the directors and the film don't have any secret messages as such. Seeing as there were Freemasons in the film mentioned, they nominated it because they had nothing else to nominate. Now, of course, they make so many films and know so many people that pretty much everything that is nominated is not good for you. Maybe it was a bit different ages ago. There's only about 3 or 4 films that have been nominated for the Academy Award that are worth watching. Maybe even less. And the films that are nominated for the American Academy Awards are almost always the same as the ones for the British Academy Awards. That's also interesting because it's all connected. Same people behind it. Making us watch nonsense, praising it so much. And obviously, I'll say again, go watch the films of Tsai Ming-Liang and Lee Kang-Sheng. Maybe some of you have watched them by now. It's been quite some time since I made my first video and recommended them. If you have, I would recommend rewatching them. I know that when I did, that helped me a lot. But the first time I saw The Wayward Cloud, which is the third part of the trilogy, that one scene, and I won't give any details, but the bench scene, that has to be more or less my favorite scene of films in general. I can't get it out of my head, and I don't want to. that scene alone is like it makes life worth living, or the fulfillment I was talking about. A lot of it came from that scene. Might sound strange, but yeah. But it's very, very connected to the first two, so don't go watching the third one. It will mean about 90% less. Of course, it's not only the meaning of it as such, it's how it was filmed and everything. It's just, there's no words for it. I'm going to take a break and continue in a second. What we as people should do is examine our lives, and we should try to pay attention to all of our emotions, feelings, and thoughts, and see how we affect the world with that. Of course, one can only do it if you're honest to yourself, as I said, that being very important. See if via knowledge or friends, neighbors, anybody around us, their physical and emotional needs. That wasn't so easy for me. I always said this, not always, but since 2011, this idea of what being awake means. Of course, it's a vague term, but surely many people have some understanding of it, so I knew it, and I knew what I have to do. I'm still going through a lot of change. Maybe not as much anymore, but I suppose this change as such never stops. I know some years ago, or not even that long ago, I believed that people cannot change. These thoughts and this feeling, it's undescribable. There's examples of things I can give, but it's as if you look at things from many perspectives. Many times it can seem really strange. If it happened to me out of nowhere from one day to another, I would likely believe that I went nuts, because that's how I would imagine being crazy. Of course, now I understand that people, for example, who act crazy, as we have learned it from films and such, are something else. Which doesn't mean that there aren't people who are actually mentally ill. It's almost like entering new dimensions, I would say. You get to new levels where everything becomes so clear. It's, as I said, undescribable, unexplainable. It's like it all clicks. It's like you can see through it. Many things that you cared about before, you might not care about anymore at all. Because you realize why you cared about it, how much meaning it has. If it has no meaning, why you do the things you do, and so on. And seeing as this is so unexplainable, most people of course never want to go through it, except if you trust me. I said this at the very start. Only people who trust somebody can go through it, because if they trust, then they will simply rely on this somebody and believe that what they say is true, and then have to experience themselves. If you do not experience it yourself, then you will not believe it. So this is how it always will be in the world. Of course, many people like to say that some spiritual awakening and so on is going on in the world. I've already explained this. That's the thing I explain the best in my videos, I believe. The false awakening.